Mensuri Gakusei. Thank you for tuning into Mizuchi Dojo Radio, a weekly podcast featuring discussions between the best martial artists in Western New York on a variety of martial arts concepts. I'm your host, Bill Reynolds, and joining me today are these panelists. We have Brandon.A.Czerwinski. He's been trained since 2009. Dylan Pinkham, trained since 15 years old, school owner at Hana Center Martial Arts, 5th degree black belt in karate. Melissa Pinkham, trained since February 2016, 5th Q in Muay. Jake Rozler, trained since 2005, 4th degree black belt in ITF Taekwondo. Rob Guida, trained since 2010, owner-operator of MSD Kenpo Karate since 2012, 2nd degree black belt in Kenpo Karate. You can find this information and more in our show notes. And also, I will say that this week's episode is brought to us by Mojo Dojo Amerikick Clarence, located 9135 Sheridan Drive in Clarence, New York. Their phone number is 716-565-0202. They specialize in instruction to youth and adults, doing MMA, focusing on Taekwondo and BJJ. This week's episode is what's some advice for marketing and promoting a school. We got a couple school owners on the show here tonight. I'm going to start with Melissa Hajime.
Thank you. Some advice for marketing. My advice, having a background in marketing for marketing anything, would be as many different facets of marketing as you can. You're hitting people from many angles, because supposedly there's a study done that it takes someone seeing something, I want to say it's like 7 times or maybe even more than that, I can't remember, before they act on it. So if they are seeing you on Facebook and then they hear someone say, oh yeah, I go there, and right, even I do martial arts, and then they see you at, say, the fair or something like that. They see you many different places. Then they see you on Facebook again. Maybe they see you on TikTok because you do reels. That's going to make them go, hey, I've seen them many different times. I think I'm going to go ahead and act on that. So I guess my first and foremost piece of advice would be to go many different ways. Throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks, if you will. Instead of trying to concentrate on just one particular thing.
All right. Thank you. And let's move on, I guess, to Jake. Opening thoughts.
No, I want to have Brandon go first, if that's all right.
You defer your time. Oh, well, let's not get into that argument again. Okay, then, Brandon, what are your opening thoughts?
Well, you got to call on me while I'm eating a baby carrot. All right.
I know, we're on that same.
Right. So, yes, I agree with what Melissa's saying. You know, you need multiple streams, and they need to have adequate market penetration. They need to get the point across. Like, if you have a really silly radio ad where deep-voiced men sing a word like become, and then you're giving a testimonial and everybody's giggling at you. No reason, just a random example.
Mhm.
But then your online presence, your social media is, it's nothing really. Then why are you using it? You know, use it enough to be noticed, use it enough to draw an actual crowd. It also depends on the product. You know, are you doing online classes? Are you advertising strictly to, one area? Are you an area with a large parking lot? Are you an area with a small parking lot? Who are you trying to draw? These are all things you need to consider whenever you're doing your marketing strategy. So,
all right, excellent opening thoughts. Robert, opening thoughts.
Yeah, interesting. I 12 years now, been doing this, and for 12 years I have gone through every major agency to market the studio I think that's out there. I think the only one I haven't tried, I can't remember their name, but I couldn't go with them because Lisa had them locked up and she wouldn't give them up. She wouldn't let me try it too. And I just emailed the current guy I have right now, and I'm like, look, 12 years. I've kept my student base almost the same the whole time. The amount of leads coming in are about the same the whole time. So I'm literally just wasting my money. I go because I'm paying all these different people to do all these different advertising for me, and I'm getting the same results from when I just do it myself. And so what are we doing? Like what's going on? And my thought has always been and will be that you need specialists to do special things. And so, I don't make websites. I did that for a while and I'm terrible at it. And so I paid someone to do it. And I'm not a marketing specialist, so I pay someone to do it. But my problem is I'm getting the same results. And so I'm kind of in the fence now where I'm thinking like they all suck. And at the way Facebook's working right now and everything, you could do it yourself just as well as pretty much anybody else could do it because I really don't see a benefit anymore maybe it's off topic a little bit, but I don't see a benefit anymore of paying thousands of dollars for people to do Facebook advertising, which is different than the Believe guy, by the way. That made me laugh. That was funny. It took me a second. I had to think, and then I'm like, I heard it.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it, and I'm like, oh, I know what you got.
Okay, Dylan, opening thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there with Rob. I think between all the different social platforms, you name it, there's one. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't know what the big companies can offer. I've never gone with a big company myself. This is only my 5th year in business. But I'm doing well, without going that route. I know that there's a lot of school owners that will go with the big ones like Maya and some other elite organizations, and the connections I think are great. I don't know, but again, I don't do it, so I'm not gonna say whether there is or isn't. But yeah, that's my.
Okay, thank you. Jake, opening thoughts.
Yeah, so admittedly, marketing is the area of business that I personally care about the least. I try to outsource it as much as possible just because I hate
Are you talking
being
about your cleaning business, or are you talking because you don't know
general.
school?
I mean, that's specifically, but even with my MBA, like marketing was just the class I cared the least about. It's because I don't like being targeted, advertised to. But that's a very important way to advertise your business. So yeah, making sure you have the experts and whatnot. That's all great advice. What I kind of want to take it a little bit different direction and talk about like specifically how to market, what specifically target marketing in your martial arts school, which as a non-school owner, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know. But the last episode we talked about, what content to post, right? And that's a really easy way to get people engaged, get people to know you, to know your school, to, become familiar with your name and your profile at least. We've talked about, controversy and posting, things that get people talking as opposed to posting just a video of like, hey, here's the self-defense drill we're doing this week. Watch it before you come to class. And then there's the, hey, I'm just going to post like happy pictures of my kids and my adults and they're doing awesome. Or, hey, this is a white belt doing something. Don't poop on them too much because they are a white belt. They're a beginner. Social media marketing is where it's at right now. Google SEO and Google AdSense, like that's still there. I would say it's probably equally important as social media marketing. Getting your ratings, your Google ratings and reviews, again, super important. So just how do you optimize that for your school is where I'd like to take this conversation, if that's okay with everyone.
Well, yeah, once we're done with opening thoughts, we definitely can go in that direction. Speaking of which, my only opening thoughts is I think sort of echoing what Robert was saying earlier. Very early on, I opened in 2021 my own school, and I was approached by all sorts of different methods, meaning people who wanted my money to market my school. And what I quickly realized was that for anyone who's not visited my school can have maybe 10 students at a time training. And so I am a small school, and I figured out very quickly that the most I could ever possibly have training at my school total was under 30 students. So marketing never makes sense for me compared to the amount of money they want versus and the promise of like, hundreds or, lots and lots of students, which PS, when I did actually pay for that stuff, I didn't get hundreds and hundreds of students. It didn't, so it didn't even like turn out that way. So I just, for me, I think knowing um, what you're looking for out of marketing and promotion, what are you trying to do? If you're trying to generate student population, that's one strategy. I think like from last week's episode, if your marketing and promotion is really just say, here, we're out here, this is what we do, then they're probably a different strategy. Okay, that's all I had to say. Jake, you wanted to like lead the way to a different direction. Go for it.
Yeah. So that's a really, really great point, Bill. You have to know your limitations of your business, what your target market is, right? You can't focus on just blasting it out to parents and kids because you'll hopefully get way too many students who sign up. You won't be able to teach them all, right? So you have to be a little bit more, I don't know if niche is the right word with your marketing, but a little less prevalent maybe. As opposed to, Rob, you could fit what, 50 people on your floor, you think?
At a time, yeah, if I had to. I prefer 20, 25, but I mean, I
Yeah.
could comfortably teach a couple hundred students, 150 students in my school, different classes.
Yeah. So, you're definitely gonna have a different marketing strategy than Bill would. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm a little out of my depth here. So I guess what hasn't worked for you guys? Well, why don't we start there?
So, mine and Melissa's kind of target is families. So our goal at the end of the day is to get that typical nuclear family of four. We want all four of them enrolled in our school. So typically what happens is we get the children or the child. They do it for 6 months, 8 months, a year. And we constantly not push aggressively, but remind the parents, hey, it'd be great to have you on the floor. It'd be great to have you training, you and Johnny training together. I always share my experiences. I grew up with seven siblings at one point. And I say at one point because I had a foster sibling, but and my father. So we trained as a family. And I always remind my parents of that. And it's a great turnover. And by turnover, I mean getting those parents in. We pride ourselves on being a family oriented school. I have my daughters 4 and 7. I have mothers that come to adult class and they let their kids hang out, watch. I have a TV within eyesight of the training. You can see it in the back, but
with our daughters.
but it's a family oriented. While mom and dad are training, the kids are there because they just got done training.
So that's your who you're looking for. So like to the question, how do you guys market with that in mind? How are you attracting or reaching out to families?
Do you have a parents and kids class?
No.
We tried.
The biggest success was having saying, hey, your kids are welcome to come, and if they want to bring their iPads or they want a homework or whatever. Whereas in some other schools,
to your already existing adult students who are parents,
or yes, students who are parents or have their little ones that are like, well, I could, but then we have to do this and bedtime and dinner and da da da. We say, hey, it's a great bonding experience. It's great to be able to be in the same space with your kid, be in the car with your kid going home, coming to karate, knowing that you both have your own classes, conversation. What did you do in class today? Oh, training at home. It's great. As far as what our strategy is, like I mentioned, and Melissa can expand on it, but I think the biggest thing is just having that constant conversation, that this is a great family bonding. As we talked in a previous episode, you can't play football together, but you can do martial arts together. If not together, you can still do it as a family unit.
So
So
here's something before Melissa goes, I
that's
just want to like throw out to you because this I used to train at Western York Karate Center, which is in no way competitive with you guys. They're in almost on the border of Clarence. Um, their strategy, because they are also very family oriented, is that he works with the local schools and he does presentations in schools regularly. And that's how, and so he gets the kids in that way, and then he encourages the parents to join the kids in class, and then he markets to them. There's also adult classes that you could do just for you. So that, I mean,
Mhm.
that's if you're going for families, that would be a suggestion for me. It seemed to work great for him.
I'm going to go in a different direction because at one point you had said what doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you for us personally, what didn't work, where what doesn't work is our website. We had someone donate a website. You know, they said we want to basically trial run, you know, this website package. So we're going to have you do it. And so basically what it was they built our website and then they sent training videos on how to update it. So it was supposed to be kind of like a hands-off package. I don't have the time to update the website literally ever, nor do I have the capacity to update the website. So we have a very basic website. You can contact us through it. Almost never, I get almost no hits on it. What I do get all the time though is Facebook inquiries. You know, we belong to the Lewiston community group. As soon as we um, post something on there, we're getting a plethora of DMs inquiring about our classes. Um, and I guess so for us personally, a website didn't work. Partially my fault because I don't necessarily update it or throw things out there. But yeah, we have a decent amount of like Google reviews, which I think throws us in the search engine because of that. But generally when we post on the community groups and we post videos of, you know, kids doing things and um kids doing things and you know, kind of like that family piece too. Even we get a lot of hits. So
Brandon, I don't know if you thinks this is a good thing. I know that Brandon and Jake are aware of this movement. I could argue that currently, for those of you who aren't aware, our school is developing a non-for-profit associate to basically develop I guess, a scholarship for victims of violence who would like to get self-defense training but don't feel they can afford it. And so, you know, in some ways, this markets or promotes our school in the end. Not that we're gonna like compel them to stay with us after they do the free workshops or get a scholarship for to be able to train. But Brandon, what are your thoughts about that as a marketing angle to like develop associated foundations?
Yeah. So this actually falls well into something Melissa said earlier about the multiple avenues. To kind of pare down what everybody else was saying, and Dylan, I got to give you props. I hear so many different euphemistic ways of putting it, and you were just straight up, we go after the families. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, I mean, dojos are going to be a generational business model. It's, the strongest method I've seen for dojos in the area, and really, yeah, any kind of gym that teaches a discipline is word of mouth, and word of mouth is going to be families and friends. If you are hosting, you see it with other schools as well. We've got this not-for-profit, up and coming. Other schools are doing, self-defense seminars, usually free for women in the area, women self-defense seminars. That is advertising, a free class, working with depending, sound terribly political one way or the other, but working with the local police department in your city, if they are, willing to work with you. Same as you said, schools. The more word of mouth you get with Joes of this size, if we're all going to become, then we can work on SEO. We can work on dealing with that larger thing. You'll find a lot of these different businesses and marketing firms, like Rob was saying, they'll say, "Oh, no, we do small business." Yeah, that's cute. And your subscription model is going to put any business under like 50 students out of business. So why? If you're dealing with thousands of students, maybe 500 students, okay. Otherwise, word of mouth. And usually, if you're starting up in an area, you've trained with a school for an amount of time and you're starting, and that particular person's going to help you with word of mouth, with networking. So the more avenues you can get to get more contacts to spread that word, the better. Whether and helping the community is always it's a gesture of goodwill, and it's a good point, for the school. So
I
it
want to drill
shows
into
that
that part
they're.
when you're done, Brandon.
Well, I'm sorry.
I want to drill into that when you're done.
Sure.
Community.
I was just finishing up. It shows that you've got goodwill towards the community and are trying to be part of it.
Yeah, so I was actually just talking about this in relation to Ben Aldridge's school today. I was talking to his mother-in-law while she was cutting my hair, and becoming a fixture in the community is probably the best marketing you're going to get. Right? When you think about it, martial arts schools' client base is hyper local for the most part, right? It's going to be, what's the closest karate school to me? Okay, it's 5 minutes away, great. It's 10 minutes away, great. It's 15 minutes away, awesome. Nobody's driving, the average student is not driving, 2-3 towns over to go take martial arts. So having that grassroots, that word of mouth, becoming a fixture in the community, right? Integrating with the schools, getting families involved, making sure that they know, hey, we go to Brandon's karate school and it's awesome, and they give back to the community. They're always doing parades and they're doing trunk or treats, and they're going to the schools and they're helping the kids build confidence and anti-bullying and all that. That's really, I think, the best marketing you can do for your school.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially if like you're going for as Dylan and Melissa are talking about a family model. Like, I will say again, probably my thinking is challenging for Brandon probably as he tries to develop this foundation with me. But I'm a crotchety old man, and I generally am very interested in training adults who are serious about training in self-defense. And so that's who I'm looking for ultimately. And if a child walks in that door and they are serious about learning, then I'm all with training that kid. But otherwise, no, I am not going to go to the schools and demonstrate stuff and get a bunch of nose pickers just standing around or running around and doing stuff. I don't need it. But I mean, again, I'm not against it. So if like an adult comes in, turns out they're a parent, and they say, "Hey, I see you have kids classes. Could my kid come here?" I'm like, "Absolutely." Um, but I'm not going that way. So definitely not marketing that way. I'm not going to the schools. I'm not doing trunk or treats or anything fun. I'm generally just not fun. I don't think, but I still manage to get students.
It's
I don't mean
nice
this
though.
in a degrading way, but that's one of the benefits of being a
Yeah.
part-time martial arts school versus a full-time martial arts school.
Mhm. Yeah, and you specifically picked a location that you specifically liked, and as you said, your dojo floor is not going to be, hundreds of students. You're going to have you said what, 30 max, and you'd probably prefer less.
And that's
So,
across the week. That's not all at once. 10,
right.
10 in one class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 30 would die in that room.
Right. And
Yeah.
the way my population works is that some students could come in and turn out instant private lesson because they're the
Sure.
only one who came in that night, and that's fine by me. I don't care. We're running short on time. Final thoughts, elements that particularly when you think about people who might be listening to this episode, possibly school owners, in particular. What's your like bullet point that you want to like get home to them, if anything, from listening to tonight's episode?
I put it in the comments, but the family that kicks together sticks together.
There you go. I would say know what you want. Know what you want out of your school. Know what you're looking for. Know what your goal is, because I think that'll be your North Star when it comes to your marketing scheme.
I would say allow yourself to be picky. Don't just take anybody who will walk in if it doesn't work out or if it's not working out or something like that. I'm not saying like be a jerk and be like, no, get out of my school, but allow yourself to be picky. And if someone doesn't feel right, don't just say, oh, well, I need them. So in that case, I guess it would also be know your market. Allow yourself to be picky.
Every time I end up swinging by Rob's school just to say, hey, because I'm in the area, because I'm in that building every now and then. And everybody there is there because he's, teaching the students. They like the way he does it. Same for Bill. People go to him. I mean, no matter who you are, the hardcore students, the idiots like me who will travel 2 hours because they want to learn a specific, Isshin-Ryu, they'll come. You don't have to draw them. They'll look you up and be like, yeah, yep, I want to learn how to rip a spine out. It's the other ones that, you want those generations to come to, hey, we want our kids to feel confident, to be fit, to do something with the family. And they want to like the person. That's the important part.
One thing I'll say as a takeaway, I think for people, sort of like piggybacking a little bit off of maybe Melissa, not only know who you want to train and to be judiciously selective in trying to market towards those people. I think sort of harkening back to when we talked about what are the responsibilities of a teacher, and we said, to figure out with your student, what do they want? Why are they here? And then helping them get there. And I think that when you market and you promote your school, that should be part of your marketing and promotion. You say, if you're looking for X other than "Yeah, I'm only 5 minutes away from your house," this is what I teach. This is what I do. This is what we're doing here. And if you want to be a part of that, doors open. Come on in. Something like that. Help people know who you are trying to work with, what you're trying to accomplish with your school, and I think that'll at least help people find you better. Robert, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
I mean, value proposition. I mean, figure out what your value proposition is for everybody. I mean, that's, what sets you apart from the dude down the street, or soccer or football, or what other activity that somebody might want to do. So you got to have a good value proposition. And once you determine what your value proposition is, you have to get the word out somehow. And it's how you get the word out, I think, that is the most challenging. So, because there's lots of ways to try. I've tried lots of different ways, and some work, some don't work, and I'm still trying. So
Would you mind just you guys definitely, I guess, more educated than I am in this stuff. Value proposition? I think I understand what that means.
yeah, like Bill. Okay, so let's take you and me. Let's say we're right next to each other. Like, what am I offering in my school that is better than your school, or different? What differentiates my school from your school, right? That's we're talking martial arts to martial arts. Now, what
No, I think
differentiates my
I have
school
a
martial arts
dragon,
from
but you have
soccer or
a
football?
you have a dragon and a tiger. I only have a dragon. Yeah.
Right. Well, and so that might be valuable to somebody, and that might not be valuable to somebody else. So you have to have a value proposition to somebody, this is what I'm offering, which is different than other people. So it's differentiation and value proposition. And then otherwise they can go wherever they want. Like, it's just, it doesn't really make a difference. And then you get to the point where it's like, okay, how do I get that value proposition out to everybody? And that's the part that I personally still struggle with, because it's still very hard to reach the people to tell them the value proposition. If that makes sense.
But at this point, you've been operating your school for what, 13 years?
Yeah,
Going on
yeah, yeah.
14?
So I know what my value proposition is, but that's not what I'm saying. And the next part is, how do you get that message out to everybody?
Yeah. Reach
But
and
if you don't know
market.
what it is,
Yeah.
yeah, but if you don't know what it is, if you're just saying, "Hey, I'm a good martial arts school," that's worthless. That doesn't. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't. You know, what does that do for anybody?
True, because in theory, hopefully all the schools are, so it doesn't differentiate you.
Right. I teach kids. You know what I mean? Like you have to have a good value proposition. Like this is what I'm offering that nobody else can offer.
Yummy. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, listeners, for your attention. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic, and you can share them to our threads, Mizuchi_dojo, or you can email us at mizuchi.dojo.hanbu@gmail.com. Also, you might look into our show notes, and some of our panelists will offer other ways to reach them more directly with your thoughts and or comments. Please consider supporting this podcast by subscribing via our Patreon. For $1 a month, you'll not only help keep this podcast on the air, but our DOS subscribers can vote on what topic they want the panel to discuss in the next recording session. Higher contributors can have their feedback read on air, and even higher contributors can get a regular shout out for the martial arts school of their choice. You can find more information in our show notes as well as our Patreon page. Mata Yasai.